Hey y'all.
Welcome back to another episode of We Question Wednesdays. This is Marijuana Matters. I'm Tay.
And I'm Lex. Welcome.
Let's see. On today's episode, we're gonna talk about canna moms and how mothers we're gonna talk about mothers in the cannabis space.
Yes. So today we are ultimately, with Mother's Day coming up, what we would like to do is kind of give moms their flowers. You know, that's literally, figuratively, moms who partake in flower and how they go about it. How do mothers use cannabis in their daily life? So I'm excited for today.
Definitely. And if this is your first time, we are Marijuana Matters. We are a show that we have a variety. We report on budding events, products, and people in the cannabis space. So make sure you tune in for every first and third Wednesday.
Yes. So normally we do a little bit of a product review in our episodes, and we thought we would like to go about this a little bit differently today, since we will be talking with a lot of amazing mothers. We know that they're all doing various things throughout the industry, and we wanted them to be able to give that perspective on what may be a good gift for mothers in the, I guess, who are potentially wanting to dabble. So that is going to be exciting, a little bit different. I feel like they can come to the table with their products that they have to show off and let us know, mom approved. I think that's what it would be.
Also, you guys check out our Greenlight blogs. So we have one that's coming up that's talking about mental health. As you all know, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. Also coming up, we're on the lookout for another pop-up series with Marcus. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Make sure you guys be on the lookout for that as well and check it out.
Yeah, that's on the third Wednesday.
Third Wednesday, yes.
So I feel like, let's see, with Mother's Day coming up, I sadly am not from this area. I'm not going to be able to go home. I speak to my mom pretty often, but do you have anything planned or coming up for Mother's Day going on?
Mother's Day, probably give my mom probably a nice bottle of wine, flowers, and take out to dinner. Probably gonna do it early though, but like on like 12 before it gets too crowded. You know how I go. Places get booked up pretty fast, so you gotta do what you gotta do. So it's been pretty exciting. Mother's Day was on a Sunday, good day. So, hopefully sun is out, not be outside eating and stuff like that. So
do you plan to give your mom some flowers?
Yeah, definitely. Probably some roses.
Oh, okay. I was being like I was hoping you would say yes and it would be like weed, but that is so beautiful. I love roses as a part of, bouquet rolling papers, which I guess little shout out to some of our sponsors as an aside. Yeah. Some of our sponsors, Bouquet Rolling Papers, organic hemp rolling papers based out of DC, as well as Reset Wellness, a CBD infusion, a CBD drink infusion company, and Verter, a CBD skincare line. So special shout out to them.
Shout out to all our sponsors. So no further ado, do you want to introduce our guest just now, or wait a little bit?
I am ready, but as long as I know we have a couple of individuals here with us. I do not know if they are all with us, but hopefully they will be here soon.
So tonight's episode was pretty exciting. We're going to talk about mothers in cannabis. So I'm myself and is excited to get educated on what it's like to be a mother and be in the cannabis industry or be involved with cannabis. So we're gonna have a couple different questions to ask them. You guys also type your questions in the chat so we can ask those as well. Today it's gonna be more like an open-ended discussion, so the episode might be a little longer. So it's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm not a mother myself, but I have a lot of love for my mom and, all the other moms out here. So it's, and these are individuals that I know that don't consume cannabis. So, in regards to the consuming of cannabis, it's, I don't know what to do with it. Yeah. It's sorry, totally lost my place there. I don't know how I got rid of that. Ooh.
So we do have a couple of different guests coming on the show. We have mental health advocates coming on the show, cancer nurse, also holistic wellness educator consultant from the DMV. And then we'll also have maybe Tamika Meeks from Reset Wellness, maybe come on the show and speak to you guys. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking forward to it. And I remembered all of a sudden what I was going to say. I was saying being a mom, just without cannabis usage is very, very difficult. So these are women who are also running businesses at the same time during, not only during the pandemic, but just while being a mother. So very, very, very excited to hear their point of view to, how they're able to manage all of this, because being a mom is a full-time job also. Yeah. That's a whole other aspect that I think a lot of people sometimes don't fully internalize. It's a full-time job, and I have so much respect for them. So to hear their aspect in regards to cannabis and how it's helped them, and maybe it will push, not push, but make those women who are on the line, maybe thinking about it, trying cannabis, will feel more inclined to maybe try it out, to see, because they have now a positive example.
Yes. So just a disclaimer, on the show, we don't promote the use, of cannabis plant, especially for mothers that are pregnant or, ready to conceive. But we are going to have a nurse on the show just to give our information for those who are curious. So we just want to get that out of the way. So no further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest. So we have Ashley Grimes on our Instagram, Cannabis Nursing Solutions. She's a cannabis nurse, mother, and the author of Assist Medicine, which is a medical cannabis kids book.
And additionally, we have Kibra, and please correct me if I am wrong. I am so sorry. But she's the CEO and founder of DC Royal Gyms, which is a holistic wellness education consultant based in the DMV area. So really excited to have them on. And as we mentioned, we will have additional guests, and we will intro them as they come on.
Okay,
so
let's get it started.
Guess we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, but we will have Ashley. Oh.
How you guys doing?
Hello, welcome.
Welcome.
And do we have Kibra?
Yes. Oh, can y'all hear me? Yeah. Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
And I don't know
the delay.
Kibra.
Sound is off.
There we go.
You guys hear me now? Hello, peace. Hi, everybody.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. I think there's like technical difficulties, but thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know we gave a brief intro. Oh, and hello, we have Opal here with us, Melanated Smoke. And she has come to the stage. Thank you so much for joining us and all wearing your Practice Safe Sesh shirt. Looks beautiful. Yes, we are going to be interviewing all of these women and kind of going through what their life as a mom with cannabis has been. And we gave a small intro about them, but we absolutely would love if you gave a small intro about yourself too, just to acclimate people to what you truly do. So we can start in the order we've introduced thus far. So Ashley, and then we can go to Kibra and Opal.
Okay. So my name's Ashley. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for 12 years. I am the owner of Cannabis Nursing Solutions, the author of ACEs Medicine. I am executive director for Cannabis Patient Advocacy Association, and I do a bunch of stuff with nursing. So just been really busy advocating for the plant, letting everybody know that this thing is real and it's not going nowhere. And we have an endocannabinoid system that receives these endocannabinoids, and everybody needs to know about it. So that's what I'm about.
Okay. Very exciting.
Hey, spread the good news.
Yes.
And Kibra, can you please tell us a little bit about DC Royal Gems?
Yeah, so I'm Kibra. I live in the DC. I live in DC. I was born in Maryland, so I'm native to the DMV area. I've been an educator for about 8 years now, and recently I started DC Royal Gems just as a holistic wellness education consulting firm. So really just tapping into all 8 dimensions of health and wellness and making sure that we are taking care of our whole self, showing up self. And as years old, going on 11 this year. So just with always working with kids and working with children, repair broken men. A lot of my work and a lot of my energy is just based on that and helping kids tap into their whole self so that they can live their best lives.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you. And lastly, we have Opal. Can you please tell us about what you do?
Okay, there we go. My name is Opal with Melanated Smoke. I'm a cannabis mom. I created Melanated Smoke really because I believe representation matters. And I was looking in the cannabis community and I didn't see people who look like me, and people who look like me are Black women. I'm a woman entrepreneur. I'm a woman of God. And I didn't see myself, and I wanted to see myself so that other successful entrepreneurs and women and moms can know that cannabis can help us. And so that really was important to me. So I have some big dreams with Melanated Smoke to highlight some people of color along with cannabis moms and entrepreneurs so that they can know that Black and brown, we're in this cannabis world and moms are all over it.
Yes, thank you. That is beautiful. You all have such a wonderful story, and I was already excited for today, but now after hearing you all introduce yourselves, I am that much more excited. So I would love to dive right into, our first question. How does your use of cannabis, do you think, help you be a better woman or even parent? How do you think it has improved you as a person? I'm sure we all were great, but and I guess we can kind of
I'll just say for me, it was mental health. Like I needed to balance. I have always, hate to say that. No, I don't. I've used cannabis for some years recreationally for fun. The pandemic really hit and it changed a lot for me, and I needed to be mom and everything and to everybody. And cannabis really help me just ground myself. And so I use it as a tool. I intentionally use it. I'm learning more every day. So the way that I use it is to just balance my mental health so that I can be a whole parent to my child.
That is beautiful. I know for myself, mental health is it's something that is a daily struggle, but it definitely does help. So I get that, and perfect month for this discussion because, like we said, motherhood is a whole job. It takes a lot of mental awareness, aptitude, just being present, and that can be pretty draining on a person naturally. We know of post, excuse me, I'm about to say PTSD, and that is not what I'm trying to say. But after you have a baby and you go into, please someone help me.
Postpartum
Postpartum depression, yes. I know so many people struggle with that. So mental health, this motherhood, and even fatherhood is definitely tough. So this discussion is important. Thank you.
Definitely. So I have a question for you guys. So I'm here just to get educated. Obviously I'm not a mom, but soon I might have kids. So I'm just here to listen to you guys and get educated. So for the mom said, did you consume cannabis prior to having kids? If not, what made you try cannabis?
So I mean, I think everybody should have cannabis as part of their lifestyle, like flat out, whether it's, isolate CBD or even if you go to full spectrum or, into full on flower and everything. So, and I say that because in general, I feel like our population has a deficiency in our endocannabinoid systems. Like we need our cannabinoid systems jump started and replaced. And a lot of times, and especially moms, we are stressed. We don't ever have time to focus on ourselves. You mentioned postpartum depression is a huge deal. Like I suffered from it when I had my oldest daughter. And I just think that it doesn't matter if you choose to consume it before or after motherhood. I think it should be, it should be an option and be a part of our lifestyle. I don't think we should have to say, because you're a mom, you can't smoke, or because you're a mom, you can't consume. And then the other piece of it is you don't even have to smoke it. Like you could eat an edible, you could, vape, you could, use a topical if you got real bad eczema. I mean, damn, stress is the cause of eczema, so there's so many options out there, and it just really drives me crazy because my kids, because I have this label, because I'm a mom, because I'm a nurse, because I'm Black, because I'm this. Now I can do the thing that can give me overall balance, and that's the point of the endocannabinoid system to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely, nail on the head. And it looks like you, Opal, please.
No, I was gonna say of course, I already said I smoked when I was younger. I mean, that was just for fun. As a parent, I can't sit around and smoke all day, so I had to learn how to use tinctures, use edibles, and microdosing became very important for me. And I'm still learning about microdosing, and I got a lot of knowledge from companies like Reset Wellness. They were doing a cannabis consulting thing. And I believe the nurse that's on, I believe she was there, but it was a lot of, I'm trying to learn more about microdosing. And with cannabis as a parent, I can't hit a J, but I have been able to learn with CBD and a lot more about with gummies, like I said, with tincture, even with my son. I've just started to learn and get educated about with him. I mean, he's just a super hype 7-year-old. So CBD has really been helping us, and I've been learning a lot about, just for him, the safe way to do it as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to add on, I would definitely use cannabis a lot more prior to having children. I feel like it's a delay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, definitely before, similar to what Opal was saying, definitely recreational use before I had children. And then more so as I became a mom, just being able to find different ways to use it. So definitely like using the tinctures and the body creams and the body butters. I've suffered from chronic joint pain. Also dealing with anxiety and things like that, using those and putting the drops in my tea or under the tongue. Those things have been helpful for me, using it and then continue using it and just navigating motherhood.
Nice. So with that said, it kind of sounds like you guys have a lot of different ways. And I saw we have a parent of twins in the audience. So thank you so much for being here with us. I just can't even imagine double the trouble all the time. But sorry, not. I mean, in the most beautiful way possible. I love children. Yes. But with that said, it kind of sounds like you have a lot of different ways to consume and not just always smoking do you feel like you try and consume in ways that take away from the stigma? Like, do you feel like you have what form of consumption would you recommend to a parent? Say they're wanting to potentially try this out. You're saying edibles, you're saying topicals and this and that because it helps for all of these things. Do you think there's a better one? Do you think edibles or?
I think it depends on the person. Everybody's different. Everybody got their own needs. Everybody got their own reason why they choosing to consume. Some people might feel the stigma and feel a certain way about smoking. Like, I just don't want to smoke. Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to smoke. You could try something else. So it just depends on where the person is and how comfortable they are with what they choose to consume. And it ain't no judgment if you choose to smoke and I don't. Like, or if I don't choose at all. It ain't no judgment. That's just what I choose to do for my life. And if I'm a parent and I got these 3 children running around, like, do I want them to smell the smoke? Do I want them, so it's a lot of questions that become a question when you become a parent that once wasn't a question before you became a parent.
Absolutely.
That's so true. That's completely true. Trying to normalize cannabis just among parents seems kind of odd. We're all adults. And if you think about it, individuals who are parents, they have almost doubled the responsibility. As being whole individuals, we have to take care of ourselves. But then we have these little people who are looking up to us, who are looking at our movements. And sometimes mommy's not all right. Okay, but I have to be all right in a sense because my 7-year-old does not understand that I'm sad or I have something going on that's causing me great anxiety. He doesn't understand. All he knows right now is that he wishes coronavirus was over and he could play with his friends. Okay, that's his world. In my world, I'm watching people die. I'm thinking about my family. I'm trying to think about the future. So it's kind of difficult. So along with the nurse said, it's like you have to find what works for you. For me, I ended up starting out with vaping because it was where I was at. I was working and moving. It was easier with no smell to have that and still get the dose I needed. But I'm true to form. I'm a flower girl. I like to break it down and roll it and smoke it. That's just me.
I feel that. I'm a vape person and I like the convenience of it. So I understand that. And you can walk in and out of somewhere and none the wiser. Absolutely. And Kibra, do you have any feedback in regards to this question or echoing the same thing?
Definitely echoing. I just want to highlight, it really just depends on your intention, right? Anything we do needs to be intention in front of it. So whatever intention you're looking for, whatever the purpose is, if you're using it, do your research and figure out what's the best way that's going to work for you with that. So some folks, it may be, appetite issues or dealing with anxiety. So it's easier to smoke something. But then for some folks, it may be something physically. So the topical creams might work. Some folks, it might be easier to just, put some drops in your tea, whatever works for you and whatever the intention is, so that you can make sure you're meeting that goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how and what has the shift you have seen with the acceptance of women or moms using cannabis?
Has there been a shift?
Or have you seen the shift just in the in the cannabis space or in society in general, have you seen like a shift in acceptance of women or moms using cannabis?
I feel like within the cannabis community is accepted, right? Like if I, I'm sitting here, I'm talking with y'all and we having this like back and forth conversation, this is okay. But if I said some of the stuff I said, in the previous two questions, like family members and stuff, they be like, girl, what you talking about? Like what? Like, are you serious right now? Because the war on drugs and this is our brain and all that crap, and like people just it just doesn't get past the frontal cortex, So these type of conversations are easy. The conversations with everybody else who aren't open to it, no, it's not that easy.
I agree with Ashley. It's like right now with the world opening up and legalizing cannabis in more and more states, so more people are being open to it. So now the judgment is kind of shifting because it's getting legal. So now people are like, okay, it's not a drug. It's okay. I can do it. So I've had different conversations. I agree with Ashley also that in the cannabis community, if I find a mom who smokes, I'm like, hey girl, we friends, we quick friends. So, but it was difficult for me to tell my family, when I decided to do melanated smoke, that was very much outside of my box. I work behind the scenes a lot. I'm a brand strategist, so I'm used to making other people look great, with their businesses and things. And so that's not really mine. But again, representation matters. And I do believe that if you have a calling, sometimes you have to push past your own self. So I push past my own self. And sometimes what you see on melanated smoke, I'm very scared. But I did it because I'm hoping, I get DMs from other moms that are just like, thank you for just basically looking like me and being able to say, yes, I smoke. Yes, I have a son. Yes, I'm a mom. Like all these things do matter and people don't understand that. I remember the first time I walked into Target and saw a girl like me that was on a billboard. That meant something to me. So I think in the cannabis community, if we continue to see individuals that look like us, that say, I am successful, I am a great mother, that's my opinion, but I'm with my family, I have all these things going for myself, and I'm like Snoop, I smoke weed every day.
Yes, keep pushing.
So it's just, I want people to feel comfortable about that. And I still get my job done. I still work hard. I still reach my goals and everything like that. And I think it needs to be said a lot more about that in the other communities outside of ours.
Yeah, absolutely. I do it in spite of you have all of these preconceived notions of what this drug is, and it's like, no, this is a medicine and I use it to help me get through the day. And yes, I'm a mom, and you know what, I'm a superhero and I still get my ish done. Like that is what you're here for. The destigmatization, that's the biggest part within the cannabis community. I like to feel that we are the true cannabis lovers, consumers. We're lovers. We really want to embrace everyone. It's a community thing, communal. That's the passing of the joint, but safely, practice safe sesh. But that's
yes.
So that's kind of the whole bit of it, and being able to come out there and say, this is what I do, and I'm trying to find my similar community based off of it. People need that. It's empowering. Very empowering. And so in regards to that, I feel like I've seen a lot of ads recently, and it's based or geared towards mom, especially if we're in this cannabis community, and a lot of them are kind of making that parallel between wine and liquor, that same kind of consumption. How you were saying, I feel like it should be normal. I can talk about, once I talk about cannabis with my family, they're like, oh, but if you were to say, oh, I'm gonna go grab a beer around my kid, it's okay. That's normal. So why do you think maybe moms are trying to swap the wine or liquor for the plant consumption, or do you think there's what do you think of those ads? Do they really resonate with you? Have you tried any of the drink versions of the cannabis? This is a whole bunch of questions in one. I'm sorry, but yes, I'm curious.
I feel like wine
Yes, so I think
they go hand in hand.
You said what?
I feel like they go hand in hand.
Wine and weed?
Yeah, I feel like they go hand in hand.
That's a party.
but that's not my industry. But to each his own.
That is a party. What I'm trying to do.
That's after hours for the moms. We can't do that during hours.
I might be running up the street calling
I
myself.
definitely think it has a lot to do. Right.
I'm
I
sorry.
definitely think it has a lot to do with the economy, right? Like folks are being able to tap into this market. I think that's the number one reason. And when it comes to, like you were talking about alcohol, right? That's no biggie, because in the beginning, we remember like through prohibition, and when we knew we can make money off of it, then it's okay, we can legalize it. And a lot of times, especially in Black families, we don't talk about the alcoholism that runs deep in our families, and how folks are dying and having illnesses from that, versus when we try to talk about, let me go hit this J, parents and aunties and uncles gonna look at you like you're crazy. But I know a lot more people that have had issues and have died or had illnesses from alcohol than from marijuana. So I said that to say, I really just think it has to do a lot with the way we are able to capitalize on it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely is a way to grow our isms, right? Capitalism, racism, socialism, list them all out. And the crazy thing about it is alcohol is actually toxic to your body. You know, your liver isn't intended to metabolize it. The plant, on the other hand, it is very similar to the way that the body functions. It's, you know, the body appears to be intended to receive what the plant has to offer. And from a spiritual standpoint, you are consuming something that God created, as opposed to something man-made. So I don't think there is a comparison. I think we like to compare it because we like to compare those recreational aspects of it, but I don't think they are the same. If you withdraw from alcohol, that can kill you. If you stop taking smoking, that will not kill you. You might not be able to sleep, but that will not kill you, you know? So I think that the media doesn't serve us in the way that it portrays the plant, and especially in its comparison to alcohol. And I think that media just needs to do a better job at what it's communicating. And it's unfortunate that cannabis has been underground and within this prohibition state for so long, because they have had control over what the message is.
That was beautifully said and very, very, very real.
Dropping gems, definitely.
That was, and that's where for me, when I talked about that cannabis community aspect, it's kind of upsetting sometimes to see what part of the industry has turned into, because people just see the money aspect and they're really not trying to preach that healing aspect. It's you know, that stoner culture. It's just fun. It's just this and that. And it's like, no, it actually helps me out. And that's why it's so much more difficult for me to try and go to my grandparents and be like, oh, you're suffering from neuropathy. Like, you know, I would love to help you out. And it's like, I don't know. And it's just difficult. And I'm like, well, you have a pacemaker. So let's see how we can, like, I feel like cannabis let's talk about it, but it's very hard to get to that place because of all of the propaganda, and the people who are coming into this industry don't have that same they don't have that same drive. They don't have that same connection to want to preach that message. It's whatever gets it sold and at what expense. It's frustrating.
You got to think about, you talked about like if it was your grandparents, they're living off of a dated concept. Right now, we are educated differently. We know what cannabis can do for us. We've seen it. They never saw it. It was seen like a drug. It had that stigma. So for them to even try it to see if it could do all these things that we know medicinally it could do, they never had the opportunity. So it is a rework. So sometimes I feel like, even though like I was uncomfortable, it was important to me to have the conversation with my parents. So my mom's not like, okay, you waited all this time and now you're out here doing drugs. No, I'm not, Mom. I'm not. Like, I'm doing it because I want to help other women that are like me, that are moms. A lot of, especially Black moms, we suffer in silence because it is easier to say, someone says that she's sad, she's crazy, something's going on. I'm so tired of people saying crazy. If she's crazy, then she has a mental illness. That's what it is, if that's truly what you want to say. But there are too many people who suffer because they can't talk about it, and we're not getting to the root of it. Cannabis can probably balance them out so they can just say it out their mouth. I want that for my community because, like Kibra said, we are dying by alcoholism. I have seen it in my family. I have seen what it does. It is enabling us. It is we self-medicate with it. It is easier to say that I'm going to go have a glass of wine and drink a bottle than to exactly. And I can speak from experience because alcoholism is genetic too. So if you see it in your family, best believe you know why you're the one who, if you have one, you probably have 3 or 4 because it's in you to do. So I was happy when I found cannabis because cannabis is different for me. You know, if I get too high, I'm probably gonna go to sleep. Okay. But it also that I have never had alcohol that medicinally helped me at anything. So cannabis has just always been, you know, a better choice for me. Wine and alcohol, like making the correlation with weed makes sense commercially, but to like a cannabis purist, I hate to use that word, but we don't want to see it. Okay. But that's I personally don't, because I think it's just going to become very, very commercial. And I want people to know the medicinal side and not just the recreational side. Like it's wine. Wine is for fun. And there is a fun side. Mm-hmm. But there's 2 sides to it.
Mm. So you feel like in approaching these commercials, if they were to put them out, say you have one fun one, but then you also have this, if they were to do a 50-50 and kind of represent that other aspect of, you know, some moms chilling at home and they're like, man, I've been really struggling to get sleep and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the other mom's like, girl,
I want to see Nurse Ashley talk. I would rather hear her tell me something about cannabis the same way they got all these ads about that. I don't know, every narcotic they put on TV, there's some side effect that I don't even want to take because it's going to take away one thing, but then give me 10 things. So it's like, I would rather learn about my endocannabinoid system from a nurse that can help me because it's already in my body. These artificially manufactured things they want to put in it I don't want that. I've always been very holistic. I come from a flower child, so I just.
And that's the way we are. We're not built to be putting all types of like chemicals in your body, stuff that we make. Like, man, white man, make this stuff and then tell us to put it in our bodies because it'll fix us. Because we always need fixing according to them, right? And really, you're breaking down the body. Like the body was made to walk in its natural state. It's made to be balanced. And the thing that the plant does and the endocannabinoid system is intended to do is to enhance or support that balance. That's the fucked up thing about all of that. You know what I mean? Like it seems really calculated, but you can't put your finger on who's in charge of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have been just preaching.
Speaking facts.
So I guess with that said, speaking about being holistic and things of that nature, you know, a lot of you consumed cannabis prior to even becoming a mother. So what about, some moms who did consume prior? Do you have any tips for moms who maybe would want to explore cannabis even during, say, motherhood or while pregnant? Do you guys have any experience or friends that had that experience?
Yeah, I would like to know too. Is it safe? I've been trying to research and trying to figure out, but I just want to know, like, is it safe to even consume while you're pregnant?
It's a
So
hot topic.
Yeah, right. So I don't work with women and children, so this isn't like any necessarily medical advice or anything. But like I said, we all have a built-in endocannabinoid system. That's one. Oxytocin is actually excreted in your breast milk early on when you're feeding the baby, but and that's what they say makes the baby relax. But there's also an endocannabinoid that is excreted in your breast milk as well that also helps with keeping the baby to be relaxed. With that being said, I think there is opportunity for mom to consume, but I think it should be under guidance because you don't want to, put your child at risk or overdo it or not know what you're doing or anything like that. So I think it's something that can be done. I know there are some nurses that do specialize in moms and babies.
I say for any mom who wants to, try cannabis, if you are thinking about using it, recreationally, I'll start with that. As Ashley said, if you want to try to smoke, get a pre-roll. You don't have to learn. You don't have to know how to twist or anything like that. It's already done for you. And start with a low THC. And that's going to be their preference. It's like a drink pour. I never tell you how much THC you can handle. I'm above 20% and more. So that's just because I'm a smoker. But if you want to start, you can start like I did. I started with vaping. I started with like edibles, take a cookie, take a brownie. I say microdose it, cut it up, take a piece, wait like an hour or more and just see how your body takes. Everybody is different. It's not, I can't say take 10 milligrams, you're going to be good. Take a piece of this. It is a personal journey when you are starting with cannabis, if you really want to say it, if you're doing it for the right reasons. If you just want to get high, smoke it up until you get high. But if you're trying to bring cannabis into your life, then I would say take a slow journey with it and see. Try an edible, try gummies, try everything to maybe just see what works best for you. Flower, look, y'all saw my last reel. Flower, tinctures, gummies, everything works for me. As long as it's done in moderation. But I do, tend to try a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And then depending on how old your children are, just being open and honest and transparent with them. I'm very transparent with my children. My children are very blunt and they will ask me questions and show concern because they see smoking commercials and it's like, oh, I don't want you to get cancer and I don't want this to happen, right? So I'm very honest with my children about this is what I'm doing, this is what it is, this is what it's called. This is why I do it. And I explain to them and I'm open and honest with them about the medicinal properties of it. And that also gives them insight about how everything that we see in the media is not always there to give us real information. A lot of times it's there to build fear and put fear in us. So we have to have those open and honest conversations with our children.
That was a great segue into one of our last questions, of have you had that conversation with your children, because this is something that is considered taboo. If you haven't, do you plan to, and when do you think is the right time? Kids are curious. They see everything. They literally are, like you said, little people, and they watch your every move. They want to emulate you. They want to be you. You're their, sometimes idol. So when is that right time? How do you even approach that?
Well, I think it's important to, if it's a part of your life, to have an open communication with your child about what's going on and at age appropriate terms. I think that's the important thing. And also consider the fact that it's still federally illegal and it's still the stigma. So I always am very cautious about the language I give my daughter about it. So that way, when she goes to school, if she repeats or says certain things, it isn't a red flag. Come, take her home, take her away, or anything like that. But she is aware of it as medicine. She is aware of the different forms of it. And especially because I wrote ACEs medicine, and she was pretty much the person that helped me make sure that it was age appropriate. And so she understands a lot about the technical side of the plant. She understands what a terpene is. She understands what a cannabinoid is. And I think if you just give them kind of like the tools and the foundation to kind of have real conversation, then I think that's important. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, that is very, very dope. And I would love to circle back to that because I mentioned earlier, we didn't do a product review today. So I would love for you guys as moms to kind of, maybe tell us about a product that you offer or something that you recommend as a mom within cannabis. But I did want to allow everyone to finish that question, but I wanted to say that was perfect and I want to know more.
I just started. I've been listening to moms. My son is 7. His father cooks with marijuana. He's been doing it for years. So he sees it as a herb. So for him, it's in that sense. Lately, since I've been in this space, I have shared with him that mommy takes a plant medicine. And since I had the conversation about getting him on the CBD gummy that I wanted to do. And I had this conversation with this nurse similar to Ashley, and I'm teaching him. So I love talking to mothers who have and hearing their stories about how they told their children so that I can do it in the right way. I want to do the same thing that Kibra said. I want to make sure that he is armed with the information that he won't feel like cannabis is a drug the way that they are trying to portray it, and that it is more a medicine that we use, and he will feel empowered. My son, once he knows what it is, he'll be able to tell the world. So I'm watching other mothers that are telling their children and they are empowering their children. They are able to not allow other kids to talk down about either what they see their parents doing or anything as time goes on. They're able to say, no, my mom works in cannabis. It's a plant. Your mom probably needs some too.
Right.
So that's exactly kind of where I want mine to come from. Like, your mom should call my mom. So.
Yes, absolutely. Because that's I thought that was so funny though, because it's like kids really will go to school and repeat you, and you want to make sure that they have the proper terminology and everything down in the way that you present it to them. And when they do come out with this representation of what it's supposed to look like, he's going to be able to be like, oh, that's not what my mommy looks like that's not how my mommy acts, that's wrong. So I think it's great that you guys are bringing these educated little people into the world to be able to fight that stigma, and that's something that's so beautiful. Each generation after can learn from the generation prior. And yes, classic example, no. And he knows, he will know. That's the best part. So I don't know, Kibra, if you had anything further that you would like to add. I know that you started it off with the consumption, but I don't know, when you started that conversation and what really got you there.
Probably, I don't even remember. I think probably like around 8, 9, 10, somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna say like 8, 9. But it just started from curiosity. And I know for me growing up, I saw certain things in my household that was not explained to me. And I started to experiment with certain things that I probably shouldn't have been doing anyway, right? So I've always tried to be preventative and proactive in that sense when it comes to my children. So we all live in the same household. You might smell something, you might see something. they go in the fridge, they know, oh, that's mommy juice. They know not to touch the wine, right? So I need them to understand this is marijuana. It is a plant. It is not man-made. I do it because of this, right? Sometimes I have chronic joint pain. Sometimes my appetite is not where it needs to be, and I can't go a day without skipping a meal. So I have to do what I need for my body. And I've also had issues where, I've been prescribed certain pills and certain medications that took more of a toll on my physical and mental well-being than smoking a J would. So for me, it was just making sure that they understood what that was and why I was doing it. And then also, I always, like I said, make the comparison between alcohol and marijuana. Alcohol is legal, but this is what it does to people. Smoking cigarettes is legal, right? But this is what it can do to your body internally. And a lot of times, not only when we're stressed out or when we're dealing with anxiety or maybe depression, right? Those mental health issues or mental health challenges, I should say, right? But physically, those things manifest physically in our body. And a lot of times when we're consuming things that are not meant for us, similar to what Nurse Ashley was saying, right? Those things aren't meant to be in our body. And we're trying to fix something that we broke unintentionally. So definitely when I think about what's age appropriate, kids see things on TV, they see things on commercials, they have conversations at schools. So if once your child is at a point where they can talk and say, hey, what is this? That's when you need to have that conversation. Developmentally, we know, the brains aren't fully developed, but kids are able to understand things in kid-friendly language. So they know what's a good thing versus what's a bad thing. They know what judgment is, even if they're not using that vocabulary. But if we educate them and give them that vocabulary, they will be able to have a better understanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that was very important. That what is this? That's they're gonna ask that at any point, but once they truly ask that first time and they recognize it, they know it. You could maybe try and blow it off a couple of times, but eventually it becomes that no, what is this? I peep, like I see you. Just shout out to Bubba Meeks. Thank you so much for joining us. Reset Wellness, our sponsor partners, talking about that age appropriate conversation. It's for every parent that will be different. Everybody's child develops differently as well. Some are more attentive than others. And that's kind of that thing where you have to feel it out. I know that there's no specific age, but saying that, what is this? Having that age appropriate kind of being aware. And I think that goes to show that moms, you're so aware, you have to be in tune with your child, and just in the same way that you're in tune with your body. So that's great points today. So I know I said the product review, and I would love if you guys have a little product or something to share. Again, with Mother's Day coming up, some things that maybe our audience members would like to get for a mother they know in their life, or just anything as a parent that may be helpful. Would love if you could share a recommendation. So we can start with Ashley and then go around.
Yeah, so ACEs medicine.
Yes.
No, it's about a little boy who actually gets bullied in school because he is a medical patient, and he takes cannabis in school, and him and his nurse, who happens to be named Nurse Ashley, come and teach the class about what cannabis is to the class. And it's just a awareness kind of thing. There are a lot of children out here that do consume. I don't know if y'all know, but in Maryland, the children are allowed to be administered medical cannabis on school grounds, which means that there are nurses that will be administering the medicine, but I believe that a lot of them are unaware of some of the intricacies of the plant. So that's why I wrote the book, and really just to normalize cannabis, in all populations.
Oh, that is so beautiful. So it's for even the nurses that we may know in our life. And I know there's
nurses, experienced students, everybody. It's so simple. So that way, I'm not sitting here telling you all the science and blah blah blah, because that's what I do. So it's easy to understand. And my 10-year-old absolutely was able to interpret what the story says, and she can point it out, and she's like, this is what it is. And we had a lot of conversation behind it when I was developing it. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. And where can we find this Asa's book if people would like to purchase it?
So you can Google Asa's Medicine, and it's on Amazon, Walmart, everything. But if you want to get it from my site, I'll sign it and ship it to you. It's cannabisnursing.com, and you can go to online store and you can find Asa's Medicine there. If you're on Instagram, you can click on my link tree and it says buy the book, and it'll take you right to the product page.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hopefully we got some people in the audience that will be supporting that. Let's see, Kibra, do you have anything as a mom that you recommend or that you personally offer within your business?
So I offer holistic wellness sessions. So sometimes that can be a meditation session, sometimes that's a yoga session, and I offer, BYOB. So if that's something that you are interested in, I will facilitate and lead the session. It'll be some journal prompts, some mindful movements, and you got, bring your own bud or bring your own flower, whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat. And you can find me on Instagram at DC Royal Gems, and the website is also dcroyalgems.com.
Awesome. Of course, in my head, I was like, bring your own bouquet? Oh, she's so good. Like, she's on it. But bring your own bud. That's pretty good too. I love that. So you can go there and get all different types of sessions, take care of your mind, your body. I love that. And do you offer like a gift card? Can people gift that to someone if they would like to make that purchase?
Absolutely. We can make that a possibility.
Awesome. That will be a great Mother's Day gift for you guys out there. Please go check her out. And lastly, Ms. Opal.
Yes, I don't have like a product. I'm a brand strategist, and I'm always helping like cannabineurs and people in cannabis just with their brands. So my company is called Capital Gem Agency. And so if anybody wanted to, they can come to capitalgen.com, and I'm offering free consultations right now for individuals. So that's one thing. I just did a review on a glass blunt. And I think that's for like new moms who, if you can't roll, as long as you can break it down, you can kind of pack it and light it and smoke it. That was an easy one. My brother just gifted me a PAX. It's like a little small vape. And that's really, really nice and neat. It's real sleek. And you can get different pods that are, indicas, hybrids, sativas, anything. I have a lemonade one in there now. That I love. Yes, it's a nice hybrid that I just got. I'm out here in Colorado with my brother. He's in Aurora. So I've been out here just kind of bouncing around to like smoke shops and dispensaries and trying new things. I tried my first dab. I'm gonna stay with the flower. It was a little intense for Opal, but I did it. I mean, not every day. That's funny. That's definitely like a fun, like my cannabis moms, we can do that together, but that's definitely not an everyday thing. But I can definitely say I tried it. And did it.
It's like a sleepover with the girls kind of night. Like,
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I need that right now.
Yeah, instead of popping open the big bottle of wine to share, you end up taking dabs together and just kicking back, relax. Oh,
now you all had hosting any events, or are you going to any events that I guess should know about?
No, we're not. I'm not personally hosting any events. I just want everybody to continue to follow the page. I really have some things that I'm working on that I want to bring about just in the community. So for me right now, I'm just a baby in this right now. So just keep watching.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
My audience typically, so I do hold a training that
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I think there's a little bit of technical difficulties. It's hard to hear you. Can you retry or maybe be a little closer? I'm not sure what happened.
Is this better? Okay. So my audience typically is nurses as far as my events go, but if there are any nurses who are interested in getting a better understanding of cannabis, they can reach out to me. I do have some products. I have this endocannabinoid specialty RN shirt out there. I mean, if you're a nurse, just follow me and we can connect if you're interested. I'll just put it that way.
Awesome. And I guess event-wise, do you throw or host any events, DC Royal Gems, with your holistic wellness? I feel like that would be a great event, if not.
They're definitely in the works, not yet. Coming soon, I'll be hosting a holistic wellness retreat. Coming soon.
Ooh, that's nice.
Ooh, that sounds lovely. Will it be in person, virtual? I guess I'm kind of curious. I know in this whole post-COVID world,
I'm waiting for everything to open back up because ideally, I like to hold space in person and community.
So much.
Yeah, I think that's something we all as cannabis users, kind of consumers, miss. It's that socializing aspect. It really is that. It's love. I don't know how else to say it, but it's love. Like just sitting there with people you know that you bond with and that you understand, and because at the same time you don't always just share your bouquet with anybody, right? Like it's very curated. You know who you're with, so it's love. That's the best way of putting it. So I've missed it. DC is fake trying to act like it's opening, and I'm low-key with it. Everybody's out here like streets are opening, vaxxed and ready. So hopefully you guys are out here staying safe, staying sane, But I think we had a wonderful conversation today. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who have joined us, especially you guys in the audience who have come and attended today. This was wonderful hearing from all the moms. Make sure you guys get something nice for your mom this upcoming Mother's Day. Give her a call at minimum. But I don't know if you guys had any last things to add about yourselves. For the most part, you guys' names are your Instagram handles. So please give these beautiful women a follow, these hardworking women, mothers. If you are a mom who is wanting to take that step, don't know where to start, following these women would be a great start. So anything you guys have to add lastly?
Just thank you for having me. This was fun. I was really scared, but this was cool.
Oh, thank you. This was. Oh, you're muted now.
Oh, see, I was trying to fix it. I was just saying thank you for having me. I had a good time too.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And we hope to have you back again in the future, all of you. And, oh, okay. I wasn't sure if there was a delay.